Okay, we take the first basic sum of today. You'll have the textbooks in front of you. The first 4 pages are theory. Don't study the theory now. I'll tell you when to study. Initially 2-3 days, don't look at the theory. What I explained you just keep in mind. Okay? Page 5, question number 1. See the first question. A, B and C are 3 partners sharing profits loss in the ratio 3:2:1. Their capital balances are 60,000, 48,000 and 30,000 respectively. Determine the excess capital. Okay? Now, there are 3 partners. So this is the way you will prepare the statement. Remember, this statement you have to prepare in each and every sum of this chapter. This statement you have to prepare in each and every sum of this chapter. Statement of excess capital. Why it is called as excess capital, I'll tell you towards the end of this video. Okay? Now there are 3 partners. So this is the way you'll prepare the columns. Particulars. First partner A, second partner B, third partner C. Particulars plus extra columns depending upon number of partners. If 2 partners, 2 columns, 3, 3, 4, 4. Normally you will have 95% of the sums where there will be 3 partners. In exceptional case where there will be 4 partners. But normally the trend is 3 partners only. Okay? Now how to start? First you have to see what is the capital. Now if you see in this sum there is only capital. When I say only capital means there will be reserves like general reserve, reserve fund, profit and loss. So if those reserves are there, then the capital amount mein you have to add the share of reserves, and capital plus the share of reserves minus share of any losses is called as actual capital. So capital plus if there are any reserves minus if there are any losses, that is called as actual capital. Now if you see in this sum there are no reserves, there are no capital, there are no reserves, no losses, therefore your capital and actual capital is the same. It won't happen always. When there are no reserves, no losses, capital and actual capital will be the same. So because there are no reserves and no losses, the sum starts with actual capital. So the first step, I am writing it as much bigger I can. Right there, actual capital. Don't worry, after the sum, whatever I am writing on the board, a close picture in each lecture will come after the sum. Don't worry about that. Okay? Actual capital. How much it is? A 60,000, B 48,000 and C 30,000. Okay? A 60,000, B 48,000 and C 30,000. You will start with capital, and if there are no reserves and P&L, you start with actual capital. Now understand very carefully, see this video thoroughly. This is the base for the entire chapter. This actual capital, now we will divide by the PSR. Divide by the PSR, that means profit sharing ratio. So what you do? Put a division sign. Divide by PSR, that is profit sharing ratio. Now what is the ratio given? 3 for A, 2 for B and C ka 1. Okay? 3, 2, 1 is your PSR. Now you divide it. Now see, A 60,000 divided by 3. 60,000 divided by 3 gives me 20,000. 48,000 divided by 2, 24,000. And 30,000 divided by 1 gives me 30,000. Okay? 60,000 divided by 3, 20,000. 48,000 divided by 2, 24,000. 30 divided by 1, 30. actual capital has to be divided by the respective PSR. PSR is 3 to 1. So A is 60 divided by 3, B is 48 divided by 2, and C is 30 divided by 1. After dividing the answer, what you get here, this is actual capital. So after dividing, what we call it as is per unit actual capital. Okay? Actual capital divided by the PSR is called as per unit actual capital. Now what you will do? After dividing this, see which is lowest. A 20,000, B 24, C 30. Which is lowest? A is the lowest, 20,000. Correct? So pick up the lowest of the per unit actual capital. Pick up the lowest. Which is the lowest? 20. Now see what you will do. This 20 multiply by the respective PSR. Again I am repeating. 20, 24, 30. Take the lowest of the 3. Lowest of the 3 is 20. So 20 into 3. 60. Again 20 only. 20 into 2. 40. 20 into 1. That is 20. Okay, I am repeating. Take the lowest of the 3. 20,000. 20 multiply by 3. 20 multiply by 2. 20 multiply by 20. These are the 3 answers. This you will subtract from the actual capital, and this you will call it as less proportionate actual capital. This you will call it as less proportionate actual capital. Okay? Now, what you will do? These figures have to be deducted from this. So now see, 60, that's your actual capital, minus 60. So how much you get? Nil. 0. Getting it now? Actual capital less proportionate. 48 minus 40. How much? 8,000. And 30 minus 20, that is 10,000. 30 minus 20, that is 10. Getting it? I'll repeat. See, you take the lowest per unit, multiply that lowest by all the 3 PSR. That is your proportionate actual capital. From your actual capital minus the proportionate actual capital, 60 minus 60, 0. 48 minus 40, 8. And 30 minus 20, 10,000. This what you get is called as excess capital. This what you get is called as excess capital. Got it? This is the first step. Next step is the repetition of this. Clear till here? So what you get is excess capital. Now if you see, out of the 3 partners, one ka balance has become 0. The remaining 2, B and C, are still having. So what you will do, you will repeat the above steps for B and C. You will not do for A because A ka excess capital has become 0. Okay? Continue the steps. Again, divided by the PSR. A is out, so nil, or even if you write it's fine. B, what is the PSR of B? 2 and C ka 1. Okay? So 2 and 1. Clear? Do the same thing. Excess capital divide by the PSR. 8,000 divided by 2. 4,000. 10,000 divided by 1. 10,000. 8,000 divided by 2. 4,000. 10,000 divided by 1. 10,000. Just see. Actual capital when you divided by PSR, it was called as per unit actual capital. excess capital divided by the PSR. This what you get after dividing, that is called as per unit excess capital. That is called as per unit excess capital. Actual capital divided by PSR was per unit actual capital. Excess capital divided by PSR is called as per unit excess capital. Now do the same thing. See the lowest of the two. 4 and 10. Which is lowest? 4,000. Do the same thing. Less proportionate. Now here it was actual capital, so we use the word proportionate actual. Now it is excess capital, so we use the word proportionate excess capital. So what you will do? Lowest is 4. 4,000 into 2, 8,000, and 4,000 into 1, 4,000. Okay? 4,000 into 2, 8,000, and 4,000 into 1, 4,000. Clear with this same step? I take the lowest, multiply by the respective PSR. Now what you will do? Excess capital less proportionate excess capital. Take the difference. Excess capital less proportionate excess capital. Take the difference. 8,000 minus 8,000, 0, and 10 minus 4, that will give you 6. Okay? 8,000 divided by 2 gives you 4. 10, 4 I multiply by the respective PSR. 8 minus 8, 0. 10 minus 4, that is 6. And this 6 is called as your final excess capital. This 6 is called as your final excess capital. Clear? Why final excess? The reason is, and why we are preparing this, after you pay all the outsiders, first you will pay final excess to the partner C. First you will pay the final excess to the partner C. After paying 6,000 to C, then you will come to the second last payment, that is B co 8,000 and C co 4,000. B co 8,000 and C co 4,000. So this statement of excess capital is prepared so that after paying the outsiders, when you start paying the partners, you know what order is to be made while making the payment to the partners. So first I get a balance of 6,000. So I pay 6,000 to C. So this will be my first order, to pay 6,000 to C. After that I will pay to B and C 8 and 4. That means 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 I will pay in the ratio of 2:1. Now one thing remember, when you finish this, the second last, that means above this 6,000, these balances, if you see here 8,000 and 4,000, it has to be in the ratio of the partners. B 8,000, C 4,000. What is the ratio? 2:1. 8,000, 4,000. If you see, it is in the ratio of 2:1. So the second last step, that is your proportionate excess capital, it has to be in the profit sharing ratio. And if it is not in the profit sharing ratio, that means you have made a mistake. So remember, second last line, when you calculate the proportionate excess capital, partners' amounts have to be in the profit sharing ratio. If not, then you have made some mistake. Got it? So this was the statement of excess capital. I'll repeat the full thing again. Take the actual capital, divide it by the respective PSR, get per unit actual capital. Okay? Get per unit actual capital. Take the lowest of the three. That lowest of the three you multiply by the respective PSR. Lowest was 20, so 20 into 3, 20 into 2, 20 into 1. Take the difference. Actual capital less proportionate actual capital, so you get excess capital. When you get excess, normally one partner ka amount will become 0. Continue the steps further. 2:1 is the ratio for the remaining two partners. A has become 0. Repeat the same steps for B and C. Divide by the PSR, get your per unit excess. Take the lowest of per unit excess, multiply by the respective PSR. That will be your proportionate excess capital. From your excess capital, you deduct proportionate excess capital, and that will be called as your final excess capital. Okay? Now, after preparing this, below this you will have to prepare an order of payment which you will interpret from this table only. So below the table you'll have to write the order of payment. First, I hope all of you all are clear. As I told you, if not clear, keep on watching these videos for repeated times. You will 100% get it. As I told you, again I am repeating, first 1 or 2 days you will face a little bit of problem. Okay? So below this you have to prepare order of payment. The size of this statement in your notebook will be little bit more than half a page, and below that around 4 lines you will require to make the order of payment. Okay? Now I don't have the space here. I am just pausing the video and I will adjust the camera on that side so that I can make or write the order of payment. Okay, I have just adjusted the camera. Here I will make or write the order of payment. Okay? It will be below this table. Heading below the table, order of payment. Okay? Order of payment. Now see, first you will pay to that partner who is having a final excess. Who is having a final excess? C. How much? 6,000. So your first order, when you start making the payment to the partners for their capital, will be first pay 6,000 to C. Okay, so you write like that. Number 1, write down. First pay rupees 6,000 to C. Okay? My first order is pay rupees 6,000 to C. Don't worry if you are not able to see closely. After the class, as I told you, I take the close pictures and send it on the board. See, then next step. After final excess, come one line above. Proportionate excess capital. 8,000 for B, 4,000 for C. So 8 and 4 is how much? 12. So you will pay total 12,000 to B and C in their PSR. What is their PSR? 2:1. As I told you, to cross check, I showed you the step now. 8 and 4. So 12,000. So step number 2. Then pay rupees 12,000 to B and C in 2:1. Okay? First you will pay 6,000 to C, and then you will pay 12,000 to B and C in the ratio 2:1. First order final excess, second order proportionate excess, and after that the third order will straight away come proportionate actual capital, but you will not write these figures. Third step is very simple. First step may you have to pay only one partner, second step may 2, and the third step you will pay to everybody. But when you pay to everybody, it doesn't mean you have to pay them equally. You will pay to them in the ratio of their profit sharing. That means you will pay them in PSR. Whatever is the amount left, the third order may you have to pay all the partners in their respective PSR. So your order number 3 will be then pay to A, B and C in the ratio 3:1. Okay? Then pay to A, B and C in the ratio 3:2:1. I repeat, first order pay to C 6,000, that is your final excess. Then the second line, pay to B and C 12,000 in the ratio 2:1, and after that pay to A, B and C in their PSR 3:2:1. Got it? This is the way you will prepare statement of excess capital. First prepare the statement, and on the basis of the statement decide the order, and below the statement list down the order of payment. Below the statement list down the order of payment. That is the way you will go ahead. Okay? That's it for the first day. I don't want to do much on the first day. Just listen to the 2 videos, especially the second one. As I told you, that is going to be the base for the remaining chapter. Each and every sum of this chapter will start with the statement of excess capital, and below that order of payment. After few days, not now, halfway the chapter, then what I'll do, I may skip this and I'll straight away get into the second table. Not now, towards the end of the chapter. By the time, don't worry, you all will be comfortable. Okay? So I'm stopping here today. Just see the videos repeatedly 2 times, 3 times. As I told you, 1 or 2 days you will face a problem. Don't worry, even tomorrow in the next class, I am not going to get into the full-fledged sum. I will just do excess capital only with variations, and from the third lecture, I will get into the full-fledged chapter. Okay? Whatever explanation I have given you in the first video, that was just a pure basic one. Detailed things will keep on coming slowly. As and when we proceed towards the chapter, I'll keep on discussing the new points on a daily basis as and when required. Okay? So that's it guys for the day. See you all tomorrow. As I told you, I'll be taking a recording, and every day evening, as soon as I'm done with the class, I may take sometimes in morning or evening also, or afternoon also. Whenever I take the videos, after a couple of hours, I'll upload it and send it on the group. Again, I'm repeating, please do not share the link with anybody. You all are going to pay me the fees unnecessary. If you share to somebody else is taking advantage of that. Please avoid that. Okay? So that's it for the day. See you all tomorrow. Take care guys.